Good afternoon. I trust that you are well. It is 1 minute to the top of the hour, and I'm here to bring you up to speed with the latest in the world of news from across all the 47 counties and even beyond the borders. But first, the highlights. Doctors have threatened to down their tools early next month.
We have initiated a contempt against all the governments, 47 government and national government, that if they do not comply to these, that for sure in December we will have a nationwide strike.
So far, doctors in 15 counties are on a go-slow. The standoff over county funding continue as governors and senators ask members of the National Assembly to protect devolution.
Penda ile kamati yenu ipunguze msimamo, zile pesa ambazo zinaenda kwa magatuzi ziende zile ili tuweze kuendeleza maendeleo katika sehemu yetu.
Religious leaders have been urged to mentor young men in order to reduce increased cases of young men dying by suicide.
Because of the problem of lack of good mentors, men have suffered a lot of blows. Men have suffered a lot of, in fact, ending up by killing themselves.
All right, indeed. Once again, good afternoon. My name is Moige. Always a pleasure to have you on board. This is TV47 News Now. We start off with the former Deputy President, whereby the former Deputy President Gachagua has asked President William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza government to lower taxes if he was indeed the problem during his tenure as the second Deputy President. Speaking in a church event in Kajiado this morning, Gachagua said he is no longer blamed for the failures of the government, directing his supporters to remain silent after his impeachment.
Mimi sina stress, mimi nimerelax vizuri sana. Si ndio? Hasa hakuna mtu analaumu kwa ile shida iko Kenya. Wengine walaumiwe wajibu. Mimi ni mtu sasa ya kuangalia. Hata Uhuru Kenyatta, president wetu jana alisema yeye anaangalia TV, anasikiza radio. Hata mimi naangalia TV, nasikiza radio. Wacha wale wanaendesha wafanye nini? Lakini waheshimu viongozi wetu wa kidini. Let us see and wait and see how things are going. Kama Rigathi Gachagua ndiye alikuwa shida, ndio mlikuwa mnaweka ushuru ikuwe juu, simpunguze sasa vile ametoka. Si iko namna hiyo? Yes. Hizi barabara zote zimesimama, kama Edi alikuwa amesimamisha, simumalize. Si ndio? These things, you know Kenyans are very intelligent people.
Mheshimiwa Naibu wa Rais, that is a quality that I want to assure you has inspired generations and generations. Mimi ningependa kuomba leo mnaweza kuwa mmefaulu kumtoa kama Naibu wa Rais. Ningependa kuomba wale ambao
President William Ruto, accompanied by various leaders, are attending, or rather he is attending, a church service at Soweto Catholic Church here in Nairobi County. The president recently called church leaders to be factual when addressing matters affecting the country. Let's cross over and listen in.
Kwenda mbinguni. Nikaona hii yenu inakaribiana na hiyo. Ndio. So, nimeambiwa inatoka pale daraja chini pale, inakuja mpaka hapa namba 17, sijui Masimba. Si ndio? Na tayari nimeita mtu ambaye atafanya hiyo barabara. Hapo hapa. Huyu Bwana Kinoti ndio Director General wa Kenya Urban Roads Authority. Na tumekubaliana na yeye kwamba mukirudi Januari, tumutaenda Christmas, mukirudi Januari mutakuta hii barabara imekamilika. Hii barabara yenu. Tunaelewana? Na wakati tutatengeneza hiyo barabara, pia tutahakikisha kwamba sewer line imewekwa vizuri na hiyo imewekwa vizuri, ndio, na ni kati ya maneno niliitana gavana wenu na wabunge tukaongea na wao last week. Kuna barabara nyingi hapa Nairobi ambazo tumekubaliana na tutazijenga.
All right, that is President William Ruto addressing congregants at Soweto Catholic Church here in Nairobi County. In other news, the standoff over county funding has continued to pit governors and senators against members of the National Assembly. Speaking during the anniversary of Kilifi North Member of Parliament Owen Bayer's father, the late Canon Silas Mweri at Dabaso village in Kilifi County, Governor Gideon Mongaro urged MPs to quickly resolve the matter so that the counties can get their fair share of revenue on time. He told members of parliament present, led by Bayer and his South Mugirango counterpart Silvanus Osoro, and Langata member of parliament Felix Odiwuor, that MPs had hatched a scheme to kill devolution, with most of them having personal issues with governors from their respective counties. On his part, Osoro accused some governors of extravagant spending of county resources that had led to no development progress since the start of devolution.
Baada ya
lazima ile sheria ifuatwe. Hii dora ambayo mnapigana nayo, katiba ya Kenya tuliyopigia kura 2010, authority ya counties ni Senate. Tunawaheshimu nyinyi, mnafanya budget au mnaenda kunegotiate na Senate, lakini waje tukazia wewe unakazwa na gavana wako, mnataka kaza Kenya nzima vipi bwana?
Kamati yenu ipunguze msimamo, zile pesa ambazo zinaenda kwa magatuzi ziende zile ili tuweze kuendeleza maendeleo katika sehemu yetu. Kwa sababu tulikuwa tumepanga vizuri, yaliyotokea yalitokea, lakini tunataka tujipange tuone kwamba tunakusanya pesa za kutosha na pia tunapata ule mgao wetu wa kawaida ili tuweze kuleta miradi ambayo itakuwa ni mizuri zaidi. Hata mbeleni tukizeeka tutakuwa tuzeeke tukiwa huku.
Swali ya kuongeza pesa kwa county, tuna support devolution. Lakini lazima tujue kwa miaka 10 devolution imefanya kazi gani ndio pesa ziongezwe. Kwa sababu ile ubaya, tunaongeza pesa ya kutajirisha watu hapa chini, maskini wakiendelea kuumia.
Lakini ya kwanza ni kuuliza hii kidogo yenye mmepewa, mumefanyia nini? Hiyo tu.
Senators wakasema kwamba ule mgao ambao utakuja mashinani usipungue chini ya bilioni 400. Lakini bunge la kitaifa inasema la hasha, hatuwezi kupeleka mashinani bilioni 400, lazima zipunguzwe. Kwa hivyo mabunge mawili yote ya Kenya, wananchi ni wale wale wanaoshughulikiwa, lakini bunge lingine linataka pesa nyingi zije mashinani, lingine linasema zile za kuja mashinani zipunguzwe.
And the standoff between governors, MPs and senators continues. Elsewhere, doctors and the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union have announced plans to down their tools early next month, citing the government's failure to honor a signed agreement addressing their remunerations grievances. Well, speaking during the KMPDU Nyanza branch annual general meeting in Kisii town, National Secretary General, that is Davji Atela, expressed frustration over the government's inaction since May 8, 2024, when members first raised their concerns. The union revealed that doctors in 15 counties have already withdrawn their services as of May, but the government has remained silent on their demands. Key issues include a promised salary increment, the payment of intern doctors, and overdue promotions.
There is a common feeling across each and every branch that government has dishonored the agreement that we signed with them. That there's a swelling disillusionment amongst all the doctors across every county that we visit. That from May 8th to today, November, we've had more than 15 counties that have gone on strike to demand the very things that we agreed with government and that were registered in court. That come the 30th of November, as we are doing our special delegate conference, if these things are not resolved, then these very doctors who are frustrated, these very doctors who are suffering, these very doctors who have lost hope on promises, on the goodwill that have been given so far by government, will issue the strike notice that will culminate into those very things being implemented. So I can say, without contradiction, that if government does not respond to our demands or the things that we implemented, because we have initiated a contempt against all the governments, 47 government and national government, that if they do not comply to these, that for sure in December we will have a nationwide strike.
The Communist Party of Kenya now says it will henceforth align itself with matters that concern common mwananchi, disputing claims it was planning to support President William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza government. Speaking in Nairobi, the party's vice chairperson Buka Amole highlighted the intention to oversight the government in an effort to provide reasonable development across the country. The Communist Party also held its national elections with elected leaders reaffirming their commitment to make the party's goal to enrich natural resources and national richness.
This reaffirms our unyielding commitment to Marxist principles and our path towards a socialist transformation. Number 2, adoption of the new party symbol and identity. The second National Congress of the Communist Party, now the Communist Party Marxist, has adopted a red star laced on gold to symbolize our enrichment in natural resources, and also our enrichment not just in natural resources but also our minerals and our natural resources, not just our natural resources but also our ideological richness. We have also adopted the party flag, a red flag featuring a red star with gold lining, gold armor, and a sickle at its center.
Our mission is clear: to defend Marxism-Leninism, combat counter-revolutionaries, and maintain unity against both internal and external threats. This struggle is not given by personal grievances, but by the principled commitment to protecting the party and advancing the broader revolutionary movement.
Tuache mambo ya activism, tuende kwa mambo ya leadership. Kwa sababu wajua huwezi ongoza nchi kwa mtaa, huwezi ongoza nchi kwa street. Lazima tujiungane pamoja, tufanye kazi pamoja, tuunganishe pa Kenya pamoja, wajue wanaibiwa ili tuondoe wale ambao wanatuibia.
The United States and Kenya are working closer and closer together as a part of a devious cabal, in our view, that is designed to keep the neo-colonial control of Africa by bringing Kenya in as a major non-NATO ally.
In other news, Deputy Chief of Staff Performance and Delivery Management in the Executive Office of the President, Eliud Owalo, has affirmed the government's commitment in completing various priority projects initiated by the national government in Lamu County. Speaking after assessing the projects, Owalo stated that Kenya's second commercial port, Lamu Port, is now fully operational following the delivery of 3 new ship-to-shore this year at a cost of 3.8 billion shillings. Owalo also assessed the Manda Island electrification project. The project, he lauded, that will see the government connect electricity to all public facilities, including Manda Airport, schools, dispensaries, hotels, and more than 200 individual houses.
Kwanza lazima tujue kwamba Lamu Port iko na faida zaidi kwa eneo zingine hata kupita ile port ya Mombasa. Kwa sababu kwanza depth ya Lamu Port peke yake ni 17.5 meters. Hiyo inamaanisha kwamba mameli kubwa kubwa zaidi zinaweza kuja kwa port ya Lamu na kuleta bidhaa eneo hii. Vile vile tulienda kwa jeti ya Mkongwe. Hii jeti serikali kuu imeweka pesa hapo shilingi milioni 689. Hiyo jeti pia itaunganisha island ya Manda na eneo hii ya Mkongwe na vile vile upande ya Shila huko na Lamu kwa jumla. Itahakikisha kwamba bidhaa sasa zinatoka ngambo ile ikija upande hii, alafu sasa inafarishwa kupitia barabara. Kwa hivyo hiyo mpango ya stima ambayo inatendekezwa na shirika la REREC ikishirikiana na Kenya Power itatuwezesha kuwa na fiber na internet katika eneo hii ya Lamu kila mahali.
Elsewhere, religious leaders and councillors have challenged elders to take up their responsibility in mentoring young men and help reduce cases of young men dying by suicide. Led by Bishop Professor John Moige of the Seed of Hope Church, the religious leaders say that young men lack good role models.
Society, we used to say that without a boy child, you have no wealth. And this should come back today. Without a boy child, there is no wealth, because boy child carries the family ahead. But because of the problem of lack of good mentors, men have suffered a lot of blows. Men have suffered a lot of, in fact, ending up by killing themselves. We need to address this issue back to the roots, whereby we need man to have his own glory and to grow like a man with tomorrow and with the future.
While they were here, we took them through quite a number of themes which are very, very important in their growth. And one of the major themes which we deliberated was about drugs and substance abuse, because we know very well, and also here in Mount Kenya, we have had problem of drugs and substance abuse. Also here in Embu and also the neighboring county of Kirinyaga, whereby we have had young men abusing alcohol and getting addicted to certain type of drugs. And the councillors who have been here, they have been able to take them through importance of avoiding drugs. We have also talked in length about the meaning and the expectation of circumcision.
Kusema huku tumefundisha mambo mingi sana. Tulikuja tukiwa vijana wadogo, sasa tunatoka tukiwa wanaume. Na nataka kushukuru kwa hao walimu wote wenye wamekuwa nasi kutoka tukuje hadi sasa tunatoka.
Indeed, that is a noble call. Elsewhere, research confirms that 90% of brain development occurs before the age of 5, making early childhood development a crucial investment for the future. Speaking at a national dialogue conference on early childhood development organized by the Early Childhood Network for Kenya, the chairperson of the board of directors, that is the network, Oscar Kadenge, lauded the need to have such dialogues that will ensure proper investment in children and caregivers for a secure future. Also present was Nairobi's Deputy Governor James Njoroge, who said that the county has put in place different measures to ensure that children between the ages of 0 to 5 are well catered for to give them room for development.
When we talk of child care, it's something which is the foundation. You see, children who are cared well, we will be having a great nation because we have provided the proper care of our children. You know, the small analogy is it's your family. When you provide your family, your children with proper care, and they get the best education, the best character, you prepare yourself at a old age to retire as a good man or a good woman.
The issue that we wanted to basically bring to the fore was a conversation around how we can coordinate better, how we can advocate better, how it is possible for us to share evidence around the work that is being done to support the childcare space within the country. So the focus was essentially to galvanize action and make it possible for the sector to be more coordinated in terms of the delivery of services.
As part of regeneration of the city, and I don't know that you're aware that we are running a regeneration program, we are creating learning centers where we'll be able to have adequate spaces for children to play, especially with the regeneration of the Nairobi River Basin. We have very elaborate plans and designs to create spaces for play, spaces for social gatherings and all that, and this is going to improve the facilities.
The Chinese embassy here in Kenya has reiterated its commitment into a 3-year roadmap and the focus on China-Africa cooperation that aims to advance modernization of the two partners. Kenya is part of 30 countries in Africa that elevated its strategic partnership with China. Well, speaking during the Kenya-China Alumni 2024 strategic meeting, Zhang Xingzong, Minister Chancellor of the Chinese Embassy, maintains that a 10 action plan earlier announced by President Xi Jinping of China will aim to advance modernization in Africa in the next 3 years. The action plan include civilization, development, cooperation, health, agriculture and livelihoods, people-to-people exchanges, green development and common security.
Ladies and gentlemen, history is made by people, and the prosperity of China-African cooperation is created and promoted by the people. Beyond the grand picture of the great times, it is actually the millions of individuals, both from China and Africa, who are creating the substantial progress for the history. And China and Africa have always been a community with a shared future. In the face of an evolving and turbulent world ahead, China and Africa need to strengthen solidarity and cooperation more than ever before. And I firmly believe that the Kenya-China alumni should and could play a unique and important role in this process, carrying forward the spirit of China-Africa friendship and cooperation, deepening mutual beneficial cooperation between China and Kenya, and enhancing China-Kenya solidarity and coordination in the days to come.
So I think for us is to look at what we can do. They always say it's easy to say, do this for me. But I think for us, we need to say, what can I do?
All right, still on cooperations and relations, the Africa-Asia Chamber of Commerce has officially rebranded as the Africa-Asia-Middle East Chamber of Commerce. Speaking during the second edition of the CEO's Conclave Dinner in Nairobi, the High Commissioner of Malaysia to Kenya, Ruzaimi Mohammed, highlighted that sustainable business practices and social responsibility are key to achieving long-term success in today's corporate world.
In an era where global challenges such as climate change, social inequality, and economic instability are increasingly at the forefront of our collective consciousness, the role of the corporate sector has never been more critical. Businesses are no longer judged solely on their financial performance, but also on their impact on the environment, society, and governance.
We have representation from Europe. We have representation from the farthest part of Africa, from here, West Africa. We have from Malaysia, that part of Asia. We have so many Kenyans in the room. We have people from India. And we appreciate. Tonight, we will be rebranding the Asia-Africa Chamber of Commerce to AMEC.
Looking at the issue of moral values and the space of the software of the nation, and how we can re-engineer the software of the nation to function in a way that all of us will contribute to national development and make it sustainable.
It used to be Africa and Asia, now it's Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. So it's my great pleasure to pronounce AMEC, the new Africa, Asia, Middle East, officially launched.
Now, Bungoma County Government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, has collaborated with FAO to train small farmers in the county on how to do organic farming to increase crop yield as one of the ways to achieve food security. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, the action aims to educate farmers on how to do organic farming, especially when the nation is facing climate change crisis. Farmers in Maeni Ward have explained the importance of the project, many of them saying that it has contributed to food sustainability.
Kuna zile principles 13 ambazo tunajaribu kuelimisha wakulima, na zote tunajaribu ku make sure kwamba uhai wa udongo, yani soil health, is taken care of. Jinsi walivyowaelezea ni kwamba wameweza kupitia kwa mradi wameweza kuelimisha wameweza kuchukua udongo wao wakapeleka kwa mahabara, wakapimiwa na wakaelezewa exactly ni fertilizer ipi ambayo wanatakiwa kuweka, na hiyo ndio imeleta hiyo turnaround.
Mradi wa Boost unatusaidia kwa sababu mwalimu ameingia anatufunza vitu mbalimbali. Hata saa hizi juzi hatukuwa tunajua maneno ya pokash, lakini ametufunza pokash na naona tunaendelea vizuri.
Limefanya mpaka limeangaza mwangaza wetu, kwa sababu saa hii chakula tuko nayo, njaa haitatukula haraka sana. Kwa sababu tena tumefunzwa mpaka baada ya kutoa mahindi kuna tena miradi ingine ambayo tuliweka hapo, kuna mimea zingine zinaendelea vizuri.
Now, shifting gears, Kenyans are now being urged to embrace culture and heritage as a way of addressing vices such as femicide in the society. Speaking during the Wachangamwe, that is Cultural Day in Mombasa County, elected leaders including nominated Senator Miraj Abdullahi and members of the community have highlighted the behavioral change among the current generation, and if not addressed, the country will head to the wrong direction. The Wachangamwe are among the original inhabitants of the Mombasa Island.
Hili ni jambo ambalo kwa hakika kabisa tukilifata na tukifata yale mambo kwa kifanywa na wazee, haya mambo ya fujo na dhulma za kijinsia, dhulma za watoto wa kike kushikwa na watoto wa kiume ama watoto wa kiume kuharibiwa, haya yote yataweza kuisha ikiwa tutarudi katika mambo ambayo yalikuwa kifanywa ya kijamii. Maana hivi sasa ukiangalia watoto wengi wanaharibika kwa sababu ya utandawazi.
Zamani ilikuwa kila mama anaweza mama yoyote anaweza kumwadhibu mtoto wa mwingine. Lakini saa hii hatuwezi kuadhibu kwa sababu unaambiwa sheria inasema. Hii ndio imefanya mpaka watoto wetu wanauliwa hovyo hovyo.
Ikiwa sisi kama kina dada na kina mama katika taifa letu tutaweza kuzikumbatia hizi tamaduni, basi masuala mengi na maafa ambayo tumeona yanaendelea kufanyika kwa watoto wetu wa kike yataenda kupungua.
Tukirudi katika tamaduni zetu, tutapambana na challenges nyingi ambazo tuko nazo sasa, kama hiyo madawa ya kulevya, mambo ya mental health, single parenthood na femicide pia, kwa sababu ilikuwa si rahisi kwa mtu kujitoa uhai ama kuua mtoto wa kike.
Tutumie hiyo nafasi kuweza kuelimisha watoto wetu, watoto wa kike, watoto wa kiume, ili tuweze kumaliza maafa mengi ambayo tunaona saa hizi.
Lakini watu wanazungumza kupitia tamaduni zetu. Nimeona Wachangamwe wanasema twenda mtoa mwari, twenda muangalia mwari, basi kule Digo kwetu yako hayo.
And elsewhere, stakeholders in environmental conservation have been facilitating restoration of Nyeri Hill and Kilimambogo Hill forest, which are endangered forest, in a bid to recover the damaged forest cover. The move has seen communities living in the surrounding of the forest partner with the government agencies in ending human-wildlife conflicts.
Kuanzia miaka ya kitambo kumekuwa kukipandwa miti, lakini kwa muda mrefu ile miti yenye imekuwa ikipandwa haijakuwa ikitunzwa, na hivyo basi mara mingi imekuwa kama uharibifu. Sababu ile miti tulipanda hata wakati tulikuwa primary ilikuwa natembea kwa mlima na haijakuwa ikionekana. Nataka kushukuru hii shirika ya Road Kenya kwa sababu kutoka wakati walikuja na kupanda ile miti yenye tumepanda kwa hizi season mbili zenye zimepita, wamejitolea katika kutunza hiyo miti. Tumeona manufaa. Hata ukienda kwa mlima unapata ile miti imekuwa na ni miti mikubwa. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru ile kazi yenye wamefanya. Pia tunashukuru kwa ile engagement activities zenye tumekuwa nazo na community. We have done marvelous huku ground. Community imekuwa na furaha. Ngana na vile mwaegenje wakati tunakuja kupanda miti, at least mtu anaenda nyumbani na lunch yake. Wakati mwingine wanapata hata miti yenye wanaenda kupanda huko nyumbani.
Na hiyo sana sana imesaidia kwa community ndio wametoka kwa mlima. Ndio imefanya wa embrace hii upanzi wa miti. Kwa sababu anajua wakipanda kwa mlima na wapeo yao ya community wana balance. Ndio wacha